time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start thinking about retirement, who are you going to call about Medicare? Why call the best? Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group, specializing in Medicare, health, and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357 or evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Evan is licensed in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and watch the interview on YouTube as well. We're here with an amazing gentleman from California, and not only he is the star and producer of a very hot audio series, which many people think it's way back in the past and whatever else. It's on cassette or CD. But this gentleman is taking it to next level by reviving. And, of course, he is an award-winning audio editor and, of course, a narrator, producer. He's won a Telly Award and nominated for an Audio Award. He was involved with Dreamworks TV, Crest Animation, and he's produced quite a number, including Ubisoft, Beyond Good and Evil 2, We're Alive, Gold Rush, and more. And ladies and gentlemen, going back to the days of audio drama and taking us to the next level with a very, very hot audio series, Magus Elgar. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Magus Elgar himself, Kennedy Phillips. Kennedy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, good morning. I was just so enamored by your hypnotic performance and ramp-up. It was fantastic, phenomenal. To clarify, I actually, in the show, I portray myself as a bit of a self-insert character as Magus Serling Tentorn, where he's just some goober in the background that explains about how magic works and the like. Magus Elgar is actually is played by William Violinis in the show.
Okay. All right, so you're just taking a little part of it, you're producing and everything else, and, you've been a sound designer, Foley artist, recording engineer for, quite a number of years. And before we get into Magus Elgar, tell us how you got started in the audio drama business.
Well, I went to college at the University of Central Florida, and I wanted to get into film production, but they weren't quite looking for entries, so I focused on cinema studies. And during that time, to entertain myself and to entertain others, I came up with a couple of ideas for small little audio dramas that I would make using WavePad and record off of a laptop mic in my dorm room. It was terrible, but I grew a love of recording my own sound effects and doing all the voice acting. I used to actually do all the voices myself in one take, and I would have to do the voices one after the other. So there was no room on WavePad to have a second track or anything like that. So
yeah, the single tracks. That's right.
Yeah, it was kind of a schizophrenic experience, but I grew to enjoy it. And when I had to go to my graduate program for film production at Chapman University, it kind of went dormant for a while, and I started focusing on editing and getting better at sound design. But I eventually came back to wanting to do audio dramas because it felt like it was something that I was very skilled at without having to think too much in detail about.
Mm-hmm.
And something so fun and so passionate for me. because I used to listen to these shows all the time, these audio dramas. One in particular was done by, I believe it was Mark Gatiss and Graham Duff, a series called Professor Nebulous, which was a parody of Doctor Who made in the late 2000s.
Okay.
It was wicked funny. I don't know if you could find it anymore. It was done by BBC Radio 4. These guys clearly put their absolute all into the jokes and their performances, and I still quote some of their lines to this day. And I think, I don't see too many of these kinds of comedies going into sci-fi or fantasy or the like, so I want to give it a try myself. Only to find out that there was this like massive community of people doing this kind of thing. Like radio dramas have really come back in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. That is something too. And what do you think is causing the comeback in radio dramas as well? Is it because they miss radio? Are they tired of the current outlets out there? Or what do you think is causing a comeback in radio drama?
Well, with radio slowly kind of going the way of the dinosaur, most people prefer to have control over the kind of content they listen to. But with Netflix, with Hulu and the like, they've grown accustomed to listening to something or listening or watching something that they have complete control over how they pace themselves. So listening to morning talk radio shows is a little challenging if you're not the kind of person that commutes between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. But commuting is never going to be going away in most countries. So what people have started doing is they've been listening to audiobooks. They've been listening to podcasts and stuff on their phones or just plugged into their cars. And one of a friend of mine, Casey Wayland, had started the idea of bringing back audio dramas with We're Alive, which was a zombie audio drama podcast. Mm-hmm. And it kicked off. And since then, there have been just hundreds of these shows trying to come up and really show all that they can do. And there have been phenomenal shows that have been coming out from that. Mm-hmm. It's still like a very niche market, at least in terms of professionally, but people are really pulling out all the stops, like Audible, recorded books. They all want a piece of trying to entertain people while they're driving to work. And that's really a great thing for it, because like trying to watch YouTube in a car is dangerous.
Yeah, worse than texting and driving, I'll tell you that.
Listening to something with the dramatic pacing of like Game of Thrones or the comedic timing of like a cartoon show, but in audio, can still be engaging and still keep the person very active while they're driving to work. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I think. Because when I'm driving to Burbank to do some voice work, or when I'm driving to Orange to do some Foley work, I'm listening to these podcasts all the time. One that I'm a part of doing a voice for, The Call of the Flames, become one of my favorites. Just because it's like 20 minutes long. It's about the exact length of my commute. And it's a good way to get it out of your system.
That is amazing as well, too. And, of course, I don't know if you're familiar with CBS Radio Mystery Theater. I think that was like around the 70s and 80s or so.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember listening to that or if you've heard of it. And what are some of your thoughts back then with CBS Radio Mystery Theater? They had a little comeback in radio drama as well.
Yeah, I used to listen to, like, A Prairie Home Companion by NPR. And even, like, back in the day, I don't remember who was doing this, but the Green Hornet. Which unfortunately has degraded in quality over the years.
Well, thanks to modern Marvel and DC Comics, I mean, I don't blame you. So.
Oh no, I was more meaning like from a technical standpoint. Like it still sounds like it's coming out of a ham radio. Mm-hmm. You're kind of listening to it and being like, I can't quite hear what they're saying. I may want to play it back a couple of times.
Right, yeah. yeah, I think that's one of my favorites, too, as well. And, just a shout out, one of the radio drama producers I worked back up in Elgin, Carl Amari, had a program called When Radio Was, and actually collected old radio programs over the years, and made some modern changes and everything else too, and just made it like a radio show as well too. And do you also see yourself maybe going along those lines, having like a radio show with radio dramas, maybe on the internet or anything like that?
Well, one of the problems about it is trying to kind of make back what you spent into it, because with Magus Elgar, I didn't have really any investors or advertisements or anything like that. It was just me, because I didn't want to I didn't want other people to like put a risk on something that was unproven. So like I put my all into it, and I kind of got pigeonholed into the idea of, well, I need to actually try and make some of my money back on this so that I can actually continue doing this stuff. So I've been selling Magus Elgar as an audiobook on Audible, Bandcamp, iTunes, and the like. But like I would like offer cheap, and I would offer like a lot of little bonus goodies or something that they got it on Bandcamp, like some of the soundtrack or some of the sound effects that I had built, which I put under like a Creative Commons thing. So if they want to use it, they just can credit me. If people are like into sound design and want to do that kind of stuff themselves.
That is, go ahead.
But in terms of trying to get a radio show off the ground, I had been talking with Long Beach Public Radio about getting Magus Elgar on the radio station, and maybe like trying to push a radio station to have more regular audio drama content and make it a regular part of their station's diet. The challenge with that, though, is getting the rights to like music and distribution and so on and so forth. Because once you go radio, everybody's rates change, especially with music.
Yeah, that's amazing as well too. And of course, you got it on YouTube, Amazon.com, and everything else. We'll talk more about Magus Elgar in just a minute. The beginnings of it. You're listening to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start a business or own a business for a while, who you going to call for sole proprietorship insurance? Why not call the expert, Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group? He also specializes in Medicare, long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357, or evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Licensed in 7 states in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and also YouTube as well. We're here with producer and a recording engineer, as well as part-time actor Kennedy Phillips. He's currently got a new audio drama called Magus Elgar. It's an 11-episode audio drama with a full cast of over 10 characters. And, perhaps let's have you tell us more about Magus Elgar. You can also tell us how you got the name and how it all got started.
Mike, could you do me a small favor? Could you do the ramp up again and make a minor adjustment? I'm actually the creator of the show.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let me adjust at my end here. So
yeah, you don't have to do like the whole spiel or whatever. But I'm the creator. Hamed Hokamzadeh is the producer.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you got me now then, or?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we had a connection here. That's all, too. So we got that. So Magus Elgar, we just wanted to talk about within the multi-universe. It's a fantastical, magical realm. It's a world of Magus Elgar, and you're traveling through a magical world of Hearth. You can just tell us a little bit about that there.
Well, Magus Elgar is a fantasy comedy inspired by the works of Terry Pratchett. If you're not familiar with him, he's made the Discworld books. He worked with Neil Gaiman on Good Omens, which is about to become a big TV series. If I was to describe his style, it would be Lord of the Rings as portrayed by Monty Python. He's without a doubt one of the most popular British authors right up until J.K. Rowling came up with Harry Potter. And we wanted to try